Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Career Prep. In this video, we'll solve a few distance related questions on the topic directions. This is one of the topics where marks can be scored easily if practiced well. Before we start, please subscribe to our channel. Also press the bell icon to get notification as soon as we post a new video. So let's start. Ravi walks 20 meters towards north. Then he turns right and walks 30 meters. Then he turns right and walks 35 meters. Then he turns left and walks 15 meters. Finally, he turns left and walks 15 meters. In which direction and how many meters is he from the starting position? Here you are given four options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So here you are asked to find in which direction Ravi is in the final position, and also how many meters is he from the starting position. So first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So Ravi starts from A and walks 20 meters towards the north to reach B. Then he turns right and walks 30 meters to reach C. Then he turns right and walks 35 meters to reach D. Then he turns left and walks 15 meters to reach E. And finally he turns left and walks 15 meters to reach F. So now you can see that A is the starting point of Ravi and F is the finishing point of Ravi. A is the starting position and F is the finishing position of Ravi. Now here you are asked to find in which direction Ravi is facing when he finishes walking. So from this diagram you can clearly see that F is in the east direction from A. So clearly Ravi is in the east direction from his starting position. Also, you are asked to find how many meters is he from the starting position. So you have to find the distance between A and F. Now from this diagram you can see that BC is 30 meters. So clearly this distance also is 30 meters. DE is 15 meters. So this distance is also 15 meters. So the required distance AF is equal to 30 plus 15, which is 45 meters. So from this diagram it's clear that Ravi is 45 meters east from the starting point. So the correct answer is option D, 45 meters east. A boy rode his bicycle northward, then turned left and rode 1 kilometer, and again turned left and rode 2 kilometers. He found himself 1 kilometer west of his starting point. How far did he ride northward initially? You are given four options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So here you are asked to find how far the boy rode northward initially. So first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So the boy starts from A and he rides his bicycle northwards to reach B. Then he turns left and rides 1 kilometer to reach C. Again he turns left and rides 2 kilometers to reach D. Now finally he finds himself to be 1 kilometer west of his starting point. So from this diagram you can see that BC is 1 kilometers and AD is 1 kilometer. Since CD is 2 kilometers, clearly AB is also 2 kilometers. So The boy rode 2 kilometers northward initially. So the correct answer is option B, 2 kilometers. Two cars start from the opposite places of a main road 150 kilometers apart. The first car runs for 25 kilometers and takes a right turn and then runs 15 kilometers. It then turns left and runs for another 25 kilometers and then takes the direction back so as to reach the main road. In the meantime, due to a minor breakdown, the other car has run only 35 kilometers along the main road. What would be the distance between the two cars at this point? Here you are given four options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So here you are asked to find the distance between the two cars at this point. So first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So it's given that two cars start from the opposite places of a main road 150 kilometers apart. So the first car starts from point A and the second car starts from point E, which are opposite places of a main road which is 150 kilometers. So initially the two cars are 150 kilometers apart. Now the first car starts from point A, runs for 25 kilometers to reach B. Then it takes a right turn and runs 15 kilometers to reach C. It then turns left and runs for another 25 kilometers to reach D. And here the car takes the direction back so as to reach the main road. Now the second car in the meantime has started from E and has run only 35 kilometers along the main road to reach F. Now we are asked to find what is the distance between the two cars at this point. So the first car is at point D and the second car is at point F. So we are asked to find the distance between D and F. Now we know that this whole distance is 150 kilometers. So DF will be equal to 150 minus 35 minus 25 minus 25. Since AB is 25 kilometers, this distance also will be 25 kilometers. So the required distance DF is equal to 150 minus 25 plus 25 plus 35, which is nothing but 150 minus 85, that is 65 kilometers. So the distance between the two cars is 65 kilometers. The correct answer is option A, 65 kilometers. Arun and Varun started walking from two different points A and B respectively. Arun walks 2 kilometers north and turns to the east and walks 3 kilometers and again turns to the north and walks 4 kilometers and finally turns to the east and walks 5 kilometers to reach point C. Similarly, Varun walks 2 kilometers north and turns to the west and walks 3 kilometers and finally turns to the north and walks 4 kilometers and meets Arun at point C. What is the distance between Arun and Varun's starting points? You are given four options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So here you are asked to find the distance between Arun and Varun's starting points. So first, let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So Arun and Varun started walking from two different points A and B respectively. So A is the starting point for Arun and B is the starting point for Varun. Now Arun starts from A and walks 2 kilometers north to reach P. Then he turns to the east and walks 3 kilometers to reach Q, and again turns to the north and walks 4 kilometers to reach R. And finally, he turns to the east and walks 5 kilometers to reach point C. Now Varun starts from B and he walks 2 kilometers to the north to reach T and turns to the west and walks 3 kilometers to reach S, and finally turns to the north and walks 4 kilometers to reach C, where he meets Arun. Now we are asked to find the distance between Arun and Varun's starting point. So we know that A is Arun's starting point and B is Varun's starting point. So we have to find the distance between these two starting points. That is, we have to find the distance between A and B. Now as you can see from the diagram, AB is equal to PQ plus QS. Here QS is the same as RC. QS is the same as RC plus ST. So AB is equal to PQ plus RC plus ST, which is nothing but 3 plus 5 plus 3, which is 11 kilometers. So the distance between Arun and Varun's starting point is 11 kilometers. The correct answer is option C, 11 kilometers. Radha moves towards southeast a distance of 7 kilometers. Then she moves towards west and travels a distance of 14 kilometers. From here she moves towards northwest a distance of 7 kilometers. And finally she moves a distance of 4 kilometers towards the east. How far is she now from the starting point? Here you are given 4 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So here you are asked to find how far Radha is from the starting point. So first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So Radha starts from point A and moves towards southeast a distance of 7 kilometers to reach B. Then she moves towards the west and travels 14 kilometers to reach C. From here she moves towards northwest a distance of 7 kilometers to reach D. And finally she moves a distance of 4 kilometers towards the east to reach E. Now E is the ending point of Radha for Radha and A is the starting point for Radha. Now we are asked to find out how far Radha is from the starting point. So we have to find the distance between E and A. Now as you can see from this diagram, AB is equal to CD, which is 7 kilometers. So clearly BC will be equal to AD. Since BC is 14 kilometers, AD will also be equal to 14 kilometers. Now you have to find the distance AE. So AE is equal to 14 kilometers minus 4 kilometers, which is 10 kilometers. So Radha is 10 kilometers from the starting point. The correct answer is option C, 10 kilometers. Each of the 5 friends A, B, C, D and E travels different distances to their workplaces. A travels more than B but less than E. D travels more than only C. The one who travels the most travels 30 kilometers. B travels 15 kilometers to his workplace. Who amongst the following possibly travels 5 kilometers to the workplace? Here you are given 4 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So here you are asked to find who possibly travels 5 kilometers to the workplace. Now, according to the information given in the question, A travels more than B but less than E. So A travels more than B but less than E, which means that E travels more than A and B. D travels more than only C. So D travels more than only C means that E, A and B travel more than D. Now it's given that the one who travels the most travels 30 kilometers. So from this you can clearly see that E travels the most. So E travels 30 kilometers. It's also given that B travels 15 kilometers. Now since A travels more than B but less than E, clearly A travels between 15 kilometers and 30 kilometers. Now since D travels more than only C, it means that A, B and E travel more than D and C. Since it's given that B travels 15 kilometers, it's obvious that D and C will travel for less kilometers than 15 kilometers. So either C or D possibly travels 5 kilometers to the workplace. So the correct answer is option C, C or D. A man walks 2 kilometers towards north. Then he turns to east and walks 10 kilometers. After this, he turns to north and walks 3 kilometers. Again, he turns towards east and walks 2 kilometers. How far is he from the starting point? Here you are given 4 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So here you are asked to find out how far the man is from the starting point. So first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So the man starts from point A and walks 2 kilometers towards north to reach point B. Then he turns to the east and walks 10 kilometers to reach point C. After this, he turns to the north and walks 3 kilometers to reach point D. Again, he turns towards east and walks 2 kilometers to reach point E. So finally, now the man is at point E. Now we are asked to find how far is the man from the starting point. So the starting point is A and now the man is at point E. So we have to find the distance between points A and E. So the required distance is AE. So first let's draw a right angle triangle APE such that AE is the hypotenuse. Now according to the Pythagoras theorem, AE squared is equal to AP squared plus PE squared. Now from this diagram, it's clear that AP is equal to 10 plus 2, that is 12 kilometers, and PE is equal to 2 plus 3, that is 5 kilometers. So now we have AE squared is equal to 12 squared plus 5 squared, which is nothing but 144 plus 25, that is 169. So AE squared is 169. So AE is equal to square root of 169, which is 13. So the man is 13 kilometers from the starting point. The correct answer is option B, 13 kilometers. Gopal started from his house towards north. After covering a distance of 8 kilometers, he turned towards left and covered a distance of 6 kilometers. What is the shortest distance now from his house? You are given 4 options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So to solve this problem, first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So Gopal starts from his house, which is at point A, and he moves towards north. After covering 8 kilometers, he reaches point B. Then he turns towards left and covers a distance of 6 kilometers to reach point C. Now we are asked to find the shortest distance now from his house. Now Gopal is at point C and his house is at point A. The shortest distance from his house is AC. So the required distance is AC. Now let's join points A and C such that a right angle triangle ABC is formed where AC is the hypotenuse. Now according to the Pythagoras theorem, AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared. Now we know that AB is 8 kilometers and BC is 6 kilometers. So AC squared is equal to 8 squared plus 6 squared, which is nothing but 64 plus 36, which is 100. So AC squared is 100, which means AC is equal to square root of 100, that is 10. So the required shortest distance is 10 kilometers. The correct answer is option A, 10 kilometers. Reena walked from A to B in the east 10 feet. Then she turned to the right and walked 3 feet. Again she turned to the right and walked 14 feet. How far is she from A? You are given 4 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now to solve this problem, first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So Reena starts from point A and walks 10 feet towards the east to reach point B. Then she turns to the right and walks 3 feet to reach point C. Again she turned to the right and walked 14 feet to reach point D. Now we are asked to find how far she is from A. So Reena is at point D. So we have to find out how far she is from point A. So the required distance is AD. So let's first join the points A and D. Then draw a perpendicular from A to CD at point P such that a right angle triangle APD is formed where AD is the hypotenuse. Now according to the Pythagoras theorem, AD squared is equal to AP squared plus PD squared. Now from this diagram it's clear that since BC is 3 feet, AP is also 3 feet. Now here from this diagram you can see that AB is 10 feet and CD is 14 feet. So PD is 14 minus 10, which is 4 feet. So now we have AD squared is equal to 3 squared plus 4 squared, which is nothing but 9 plus 16, which is 25. So AD squared is 25, which means that AD is equal to square root of 25, which is 5. So Reena is 5 feet from A. The correct answer is option B, 5 feet. A child went 90 meters in the east to look for his father. Then he turned right and went 20 meters. After this, he turned right and after going 30 meters, he reached his uncle's house. His father was not there. From there, he went 100 meters to his north and met his father. How far was he from the starting point when he met his father? You are given 4 options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now to solve this problem, first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So the boy starts from point A and goes 90 meters to the east to look for his father and reaches point B. Then he turned right and went 20 meters to reach point C. After this, he turned to the right and after going 30 meters, he reached his uncle's house, which is at point D. So his father was not there. So from there he went 100 meters to his north and reached point E where he met his father. Now we are asked to find how far was he from the starting point when he met his father. So the boy meets his father at point E and the boy's starting point is point A. So the required distance that we have to find out is AE. So first let's join the points A and E such that a right angle triangle AGE is formed where AE is the hypotenuse. Now according to the Pythagoras theorem, AE squared is equal to AG squared plus GE squared. Now from this diagram it's clear that AB is 90 meters and since CD is 30 meters, BG is also 30 meters. So AG is 90 meters minus 30 meters, which is 60 meters. Also from this diagram you can see that DE is 100 meters. Since BC is 20 meters, DG is also 20 meters. So GE is 100 minus 20, which is 80 meters. So now we have AG as 60 meters and GE as 80 meters. So AE squared is equal to 60 squared plus 80 squared, which is nothing but 3600 plus 6400, which is 10,000. So AE squared is 10,000, which means AE is equal to square root of 10,000, which is 100. So the boy is 100 meters from the starting point when he met his father. The correct answer is option B, 100 meters. The distance between N and P is 50 meters and that between Q and R is 40 meters. Q is to the west of R, which is to the east of N at a distance of 70 meters. If Q is to the south of P, what is the distance between P and Q? You are given 4 options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So to solve this problem, first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. Now it's given that Q is to the west of R. So if this is point R, then Q is to the west of R and Q is at this point. It's given that the distance between Q and R is 40 meters. So this distance is 40 meters. It's also given that R is to the east of N at a distance of 70 meters. So if this point is N, then R will be to the east of N at a distance of 70 meters. So the distance NR is 70 meters and we know that QR is 40 meters. So NQ is 70 minus 40, which is 30 meters. It's also given that Q is to the south of P. So if this is point P, then Q will be to the south of P. It's also given that the distance between N and P is 50 meters. So this distance NP is 50 meters and we are asked to find the distance between points P and Q. So first let's join the points N, P and Q such that a right angle triangle NQP is formed where NP is the hypotenuse. Now from Pythagoras theorem, we know that NP squared is equal to NQ squared plus PQ squared. Now we know that NP is 50 meters and NQ is 30 meters. So we have to find out the distance PQ. So PQ, since NP squared is equal to NQ squared plus PQ squared, it means that PQ squared is equal to NP squared minus NQ squared, which is 50 squared minus 30 squared. which is nothing but 2500 minus 900, which is 1600. So PQ squared is 1600, which means that PQ is equal to square root of 1600, which is 40 meters. So the distance between points P and Q is 40 meters. The correct answer is option A, 40 meters. I travel 20 miles towards north and then travel 25 miles eastward. I then travel 40 miles right, then travel 30 miles towards right, and then travel 12 miles to the left, and finally 20 miles northwards. How far am I approximately from my original destination and in what direction? You are given four options here and I have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now to solve this problem, first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So I start from point A and travel 20 miles towards the north to reach point B, and then travel 25 miles eastward to reach point C. I then travel 40 miles right to reach point D. Then travel 30 miles towards the right to reach point E, and then travel 12 miles to the left to reach point F, and finally I travel 20 miles northwards to reach point G. So now I am at point G and my original starting point was point A. So here we are asked to find how far I am from my original destination and in what direction. Now it's clear from this diagram that the original destination is point A and now I am at point G. So I am in the southwest direction from point A. Next, let's find out how far I am from my original destination. That is, let's find out the distance between point G and A. For this, first let's extend the line BA till point P and then join points A, P and G such that a right angle triangle APG is formed, where AG is the hypotenuse. Now according to the Pythagoras theorem, AG squared is equal to AP squared plus GP squared. Now from the diagram, let's find out the uh, distance between points A and P and the distance between points G and P. Now since CD is 40 miles, this whole distance will be 40 miles. Now we know that from F to G it is 20 miles, whereas from E to F it is 12 miles. So GE is equal to 20 minus 12, which is 8 miles. Now we know that BA is 20 miles. So since this whole distance is 40 miles, this is 20 miles and this is 8 miles. AP is equal to 40 minus 28, which is 12 miles. Now from this diagram it's clear that ED is 30 miles. Also BC is 25 miles. So since ED is 30 miles, this whole distance is 30 miles. So GP is equal to 30 minus 25, which is 5 miles. So now we know that AP is 12 miles and GP is 5 miles. So now we have AG squared is equal to 12 squared plus 5 squared, which is 144 plus 25, which is nothing but 169. So AG squared is 169. This means that AG is equal to square root of 169, which is 13. So I am 13 miles from the starting point towards southwest. So the correct answer is option B, 13 miles towards southwest. The length and breadth of a room are 8 meters and 6 meters respectively. A cat runs along all the four walls and finally along a diagonal in order to catch a rat. How much total distance is covered by the cat? So here you are given four options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So in order to solve this problem, first let's draw a diagram for the information given in the question. So now here we have a rectangular room ABCD where the length of the room, which is AB, is 8 meters and the breadth of the room, which is BC, is 6 meters. So if AB is 8 meters, then CD is also 8 meters. If BC is 6 meters, then AD is also 6 meters. Now a cat starts from A and runs along all the four walls and finally along the diagonal in order to catch a rat. Now we are asked to find the total distance covered by the cat. So the required distance is AB plus BC plus CD plus DA plus AC. Now we know that from this diagram you can see that AC is the diagonal of the right angle triangle ADC. So from Pythagoras theorem, AC is equal to square root of uh, dA squared plus DC squared. So now we have the required distance as 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus square root of 8 squared plus 6 squared. Now 8 squared is 64 and 6 squared is 36. So we have uh, 28 plus square root of 100, which is nothing but 28 plus 10, which is 38. So the total distance covered by the cat is 38 meters. The correct answer is option C, 38 meters. Viewers, please go through this video till you have understood the concept. Practice more such problems to increase your speed and also to be perfect with the concept of directions, left and right movements, and most importantly, the Pythagoras theorem. Please do watch a video for solved problems on clock-based questions on the topic directions. If you have liked this video, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you.